channel. This is Tita Lavinia of Titas of Pageantry, and for this episode, I will finally be giving you your most requested content. And this is, of course, curated looks for our very own Ahtisa Manalo when she competes at the 74th Miss Universe in Bangkok, Thailand this November 2025. So please make sure you stick around. Please subscribe to the channel as well as hit that bell notification button for your weekly pageant fix. Guys, I hope that you're doing well. So I know that a lot of you have been waiting for this episode. I'm just really happy that I have the time to do this now because these types of episodes really take up a lot of time. It takes up a lot of effort. You have to start researching and then you have to start gathering the photos, making sure that you credit these photos, making sure that they are fit to size. So yeah, this took a toll on me. I've had headaches for the past few days because I've been dealing with a lot of like really small materials and trying to piece things together. That's why I don't get to do these types of content a lot for you. So I hope that you appreciate this. I just want to give you a little bit of an update and also a bit of a disclaimer for this episode. I know that I am giving a curated list of looks that I would want to see on Ahtisa Manalo, but I hope that you guys don't think that I'm such a know-it-all. I don't want to take away from the talent and the skills of the creatives that are working with Ahtisa Manalo because I feel that, you know, these people are established and they know, of course, what they're doing. We're just putting it out there because we're pageant fans and we know what we'd like to see. But yes, Ahtisa will be in a Valtaguba finals gown. And then I do know that Seven Barreto has submitted a deck for a lot of Ahthisa's paandars, a lot of her output. So I'm really very excited for this. But one of the updates that you guys might be waiting for is a change in the styling team. Now, the styling team for Ahtisa will now be headed by Ryuji Shiomitsu. And if you're not familiar with Ryuji, he is established in the fashion world, but more importantly, he was the one who helped elevate MMD at her campaign at Miss Universe in El Salvador. So I think that, you know, this is good news for us, at least. So one of the ways for me to figure out what works for Ahtisa is to also check out like what she's been wearing these past couple of years, like what colors she usually gravitates towards. And what I found out is that she does work with very specific colors, but most of her colors are super bright. And I think that these bright colors just compete with her whole being. So I don't know why nobody has figured out a way to just bring things in the middle, because I think that with Ahtisa, they're a little bit confused because like part of the styling is still stuck with Miss International Frou Frou, and then part of the other styling is very Latina from her first stint at Miss Universe, which I will say was her best when it comes to her physical condition. So I wanted to bring things in the middle and, you know, bring spring colors back to Ahtisa because I feel that she has been put in a lot of these high contrast colors that it's just way too bright for her. So let's see if we can find more looks that's going to be more suitable, that's not going to compete with her beauty, compete with her skin tone. So my first category is called top notes, and I know that we've been talking a lot about perfumes these past couple of weeks, and top notes for me just refers to the first thing that hits you. So what I did was that I checked on Ahtisa Manalo's socials, and luckily, because she's not as active on social media, she only had a little over 350 posts on Instagram. So this includes posts from 2018. So it was pretty easy for me to breeze through a lot of her more memorable looks. And so from what I gathered, she's very fond of a lot of colors that are high contrast, like reds and blues and yellows. And then she goes for the whites and then she goes for the blacks. But then a lot of these colors that she would sport, even for pinks, is usually on the darker side. So it does get a little confusing because looking at her, and again, I'm not an expert, I feel that with her natural skin tone, with her natural feature, she's more of a spring girl. So I don't know why they keep on putting her in jewel tones or in the brightest shade of yellow, the brightest shade of red, the brightest shade of blue. So I hope that we can remedy this and then get her to something more subtle, something a little warmer this time around. So my number one pick for you is one of the colors that she is super fond of, and I am talking about turquoise. So if you notice, she has worn turquoise as early as her Miss International stint. So because she went a little too Latina the first time she competed at Miss Universe Philippines and a little watered down the second time she joined Miss Universe Philippines, I thought maybe we could go middle and maybe we could go a little sexier because I don't want them to be afraid of a little skin or a little plunging neckline here and there. So my first choice is a turquoise gown, and this was made by Celia Crithariotti. This was from spring 2024, and I like this on her. This was a gown that was worn by Candice Swainpole. This is a deep V neckline. It has a very 1930s silhouette. It's minimalist, but then it has some bling with the sparkly netting. So I feel that, this is a color that speaks volumes, and this is something that would look really nice, would look really ethereal yet modern on our very own Ahtisa Manalo. And then if you're also wondering if this would work for her body type, I think that because her chest part isn't as pumped up as the other Miss Universe Philippines that we've sent, I think that the look will just modernize everything, because even if she wears something a little deeper, like a plunging V neckline, I can assure you it's not going to look tacky, it's not going to look cheap on her. Next, she seems to be really fond of red. As you can see from the visual, she has worn several red looks during her pageant stint. And so I chose this Tamara Ralph gown that was worn by Haley Steinfeld for the premiere of the movie Sinners. So this is a movie about vampires. So it makes sense to have a lot of red, a lot of references to blood. So for this pick, I have like this really nice red mesh gown. Like it seems like it's made from metal mesh. It has embellishments. So it's not like an overly simplified gown. It still has like that sparkly element. But what I liked about the gown is how it cinches the waist. The corset is underneath that fabric. So it feels like it's sculpted to the body. And I really love the details on the bust area because I feel like it would define the bust without making it overboard, without pushing it like up to here. And yeah, it's really modern. I envision this type of gown maybe for dinner, maybe for a nice event, like an outdoor event, which is like more formal. So I hope that they reconsider this type of direction because a little bling doesn't hurt, you guys. All right. And then my third pick for the top notes category is a color that she has been super fond of. I think that this is a color that we also associate her with, and I'm talking about pink. Now, for pink, I did not just choose gowns for you. I also chose like some cocktail dresses, and I would really love for her to wear one of my favorite cocktail dresses from Oscar de la Renta. Again, this was worn by Candice Swainpole not too long ago. This was from Oscar de la Renta's Resort 2025 collection. And this is a scalloped mini dress in metallic pink. So with her long legs and, just minimalist heels, I think that she would be a standout because, when I think about Bangkok, I think about jewel tones. I think about a lot of golds, and I think that if she wears something like this, like something a little out there, but a lot simpler when it comes to the silhouette and of course the styling, I think that she would still stand out. My next category is called Shades of Joy. And of course, she has worn so many yellow dresses, yellow suits in the past. But then again, I feel like everything has been super high contrast. My first choice is, of course, a Mark Bumgarner terno. I feel that the terno will never be erased in any of the Filipino wardrobe. So it just is fitting to have a terno in her OOTD. And the one that I picked, because Mark Bumgarner has been doing a lot of these amazing yellow creations, but my pick for Ahtisa, I don't know, maybe for welcome dinner, maybe for sashing, maybe for a portrait, or um, I don't know, like an equivalent of a governor's ball. But I would want her to wear the same type of terno that was worn by Department of Justice Undersecretary Attorney Margarita Gutierrez, who was in a custom butter yellow terno with cascading draping detail, because the simplicity just screams Filipina. My next pick is something a little more out there. Now, I've saved this look very, very early on. It was worn by Jane De Leon for the ABS-CBN ball in 2024. And what it is a yellow drop-waisted strapless ball gown, because I feel like she's veering towards wearing a ball gown. Of course, a lot of us are nervous about this, but if they get this right, I think that, she will be offering something very different if she goes for that ball gown look. I hope they reconsider. But anyway, going back to this Jazz Cereza gown, it's a yellow drop-waisted strapless ball gown. It has like a more structured feel, a more structured version of a Diana Mendoza gown. And, this has visible channels in the boning of the corset. So it will really define the lines. It will really define the curvature of her hips as well as her waist. And so there's layers of electric pleats, and this could also be a direct nod to a look that we loved on Ahtisa. And this was the look that she wore for the 60th anniversary of Binibining Pilipinas. So if we get to like maybe soften the shade of yellow and retain this drop-waisted shape, I think it's gonna look good on her. My next pick for yellow, and this one is from a Lebanese designer. It's a little more out there, it's a little more structured, a little more artistic, and this was from a designer called Mirna Jauhari. Now this dress is I wish they could reconsider. I think this would be a really great finals dress. So this is an off-the-shoulder dress with an exposed jewel-encrusted bustier bra top. Now, the golden yellow dress itself has base that shapes the waist, and it also shapes the hips, and it cascades into an A-shaped skirt. So it's still a gown, but it's not necessarily like a big frou-frou ball gown. Now, my next category is something that just gives us a little bit of print, because I know that when it comes to beauty pageantry, when it comes to Miss Universe, not a lot of people wear print. So let's give it a go. My third category is called Spring Has Sprung. So we will have a lot of references to flowers, to plants. So I'm starting off strong with an Elie Saab. Now, I have saved this look very early on, like ever since Couture Week, I've been holding on to this look. This is a strapless slit mermaid gown in nude silk tulle. This one is also fully re-embroidered with floral patterns in green and coral. I think these are amazing colors for her skin tone. And it has tone-on-tone silver crystals that enhances the design. So the silver crystals outline the actual floral design. And of course, it adds like a subtle sparkle. It still catches the light. It's still a little sheer, so it's not so heavy-handed, even if it's fully beaded. And I like that it's so visual. You can see the pattern even if you're sitting probably at the general admissions area. My next pick is this green dress from Monique Louillier. This is a draped bodice column gown, and it has a train in celadon. Now, I hope that you get the chance to research celadon, because it's such a cool toned green. It's very subtle and it's very fresh. It's nice because this particular dress has a wisteria pattern, and this is what this is what I mean when I say I'd like to have like some floral patterns here and there. I think that this would be a nice look for maybe a dinner or maybe a pictorial. As you know, when you visit a lot of the temples in Thailand, it does have that jewelry box feel to it. So I think that this dress is just pretty fitting because it doesn't really compete with a lot of the jewel tones that you get to see all around. And my last pick for this category is a dress that a lot of you have sent me. A lot of you have tagged me in this, saying this would be really nice on Ahtisa, and of course I definitely agree. And this one is coming from the Atelier by Jimmy Choo. Now I know a lot of you are familiar with Jimmy Choo for footwear, but they also have bridal wear, and they also have like a department, or yeah, another company for formal wear. So this one comes from the Bridal Collection 2025. I like that this had a very petal like quality to it. So to describe the gown, it's actually a strapless gown crafted from ombre tulle with heat set crystals and hand sewn pearls. So it does seem more subtle, it seems more simple, but I do like how airy it feels. I like the movement, and I like the subtle nod to just that fairy like aspect to it. My final category for you is my personal preference on the color that I would like to see Ahtisa wear for the finals. So I know that a lot of you would prefer her to wear yellow, but sometimes that's a little tricky because they don't get the yellow right. If we can go back to 2020, but this time around, I know that a lot of people have been hinting on white. I just feel that white is just a little too bright for Ahtisa's coloring, or that it might compete with Ahtisa's skin tone. So I wanted something a little warmer. So this time around, I am calling this category vanilla. Vanilla is just a little off-white and a little on the beige side, but a little lighter, of course. But anyway, you'll get what I mean. My first pick is from one of my favorite designers. Like, she has gone solo now, but back in the day, it was known as Ralph and Russo. This time around, she has her own label. It's super successful. I am talking about Tamara Ralph. Now, this was from her most recent collection. This was from the Spring Summer 2025 collection that was shown recently at Haute Couture Week. And I'm talking about this ivory mother of pearl corseted dress. Now, I know that there have been suggestions from some of you from our live sesh asking for like a pearlescent gown. So I listened. I didn't want to curate like a pearl gown for you because I do know that they will have a clause at Miss Universe not allowing the girls to wear like a lot of pearls because it might compete with the crown. So I'm going the other way. Let's go for Mother of Pearl because Mother of Pearl has become on trend. Ashi Studio also featured a Mother of Pearl corset, and then Ariana Grande also wore like a mother of pearl corseted dress at the Met Gala. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Haley Steinfeld also wore like a mother of pearl jacket from Loewe very recently too. So, this is on trend. But with the Tamara Ralph dress, this is more modern. It's sleek. It's super streamlined. I think this would really work for a more modern Ahtisa Manalo. So, yeah. It's a mother of pearl sunray corset dress. It's embellished with crystals. And then the ivory silk double draped skirt is paired with an ivory mother of pearl triangle shard earrings adorned with crystals. So I think that they can go a little theatrical with the accessories, but even if they remove the accessory, she would still look absolutely stunning with mother of pearl because she's from the Philippines, from the Pearl of the Orient, so it will definitely make a lot of sense. My next pick is something a little airy, something that's more out there, something that's more couture. I am talking about this creation by Giambattista Valli. Now, this is a ruched ivory tulle bodice of a gown. It has crystal dusted sheer corsetry. It has a mermaid skirt, of course, with the same crystal treatment. But what makes this a lot interesting is how the ruched tulle gets to mirror the ruched tulle that's draped at her hips. So it's delicate. It has arm drapes. I think that it creates a lot of drama. The shape is not something that we're used to, so it's something fresh. So yeah. And then my last pick for you, my ultimate pick for the finals gown is something that I have showed you so many times before. And I know that I've talked about Grace Kelly a lot. I know that I've talked about a lot of this white dress that was worn by Grace Kelly. So many other celebrities have worn a similar cut. If I'm not mistaken, Camilla, like I forget her last name, but she was a former girlfriend of Leonardo DiCaprio. I know that she has worn a similar dress for Cannes Film Festival. And then, of course, some years back, even Miranda Kerr had a very similar version. And incidentally, um, Grace Kelly's granddaughter, Princess Charlotte Kazragi, also wore a similar dress for her wedding. So I am talking about this particular dress that was worn by Elsa Hosk at Cannes Film Festival this year. So she wore a strapless gown with flowing elements and fabric draping from designer Anastasia Zadorina. Now, this airy dress features ruched fabric and a form-fitting bodice with a draped fabric element over the top of the bust line. So if a lot of you are a little worried about her chest, I think that this will give a lot of volume in that area, so making it more balanced for her body type. Now, the bodice itself also includes a cinched waist. We all love a cinched waist. And for added, silhouette dimension, it is a little asymmetric. So it tapers down to the waist, like making it more defined on the waist area, but it doesn't really like hug the waist. So it gives the hem or the bottom part more reason to flow or more reason to move. So this dress skirt is of white feathers, like for the hem, for like the line at the hem. So it does have that feathery feel. Of course, if they want to redo this gown, they can go away with the feathery aspect of it. But I feel like the whole shape is just so perfect for Ahtisa. I think this is what we mean when we want something more simple for her. I think that this is a dress that would really work for our vision of Ahtisa when we say that we want to do away with the bling bling without it being super boring, because anybody could just whip up a light colored dress. But I feel like this has more work and more draping employed to just get that beautiful shape. I think that if Ahtisa gets to wear something like this, it's going to give her that invisible wind, and it's going to give her a lot of movement. It's also going to give her a lot of opportunities to showcase her body, to showcase the different angles of the dress. So there you have it. I hope that you like these choices. But wait, there's more. I want to give you a little bit of a story time, because I know it's going to be very difficult to top Kat's arrival look. And so I have been thinking of an arrival look for Ahtisa. And of course, we can't just go back and replicate what Kat has done, but I still want to have a little bit of a nod to Thailand and the Philippines. So just a little bit of a story background. I have been invested in personalities, let's say fashionable people from the 1960s. And one of my favorites, along with Mrs. Imelda Marcos, along with Empress Michiko, along with, fashionable ladies such as Jackie Kennedy and Lee Radziwill, Queen Sirikit is one of my favorite personalities and, of course, fashion story. Now, back in the 1960s, Queen Sirikit was a new bride and a new monarch. And so she partnered with Pierre Balmain from the House of Balmain to create looks for her state visits. And then this relationship went on for over 2 decades. So Pierre Balmain from the House of Balmain created a little over 150 looks for her. So she had evening wear, cocktail wear, as well as casual wear from the House of Balmain. Now, growing up, since I got into like a lot of research and got into a lot of like visuals, I was particularly drawn to this dress. And it wasn't until social media and internet that I got more information out of it. So This dress that I'm talking about is made of Thai silk. It was, of course, made by Pierre Balmain, and it has a metallic gold brocade drape work. It's really very pretty, and this particular dress is called Nuit à Londres, or A Night in London. Initially, this was from a 1960 collection of Pierre Balmain. The initial look was made of floral fabric, but Queen Sirikit had it changed to a different fabrication because she really wanted to highlight um, Thai silk. And so I like this dress because when Queen Sirikit visited the Philippines during the time of President Diosdado Macapagal, she went to dinner and she wore this. Yeah, I think that this is a really good Thai Philippine connection without going like super gimmicky or without replicating what Kat has done. So, yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that we will get to see some of these looks for Ahtisa Manalo come November, and I can't wait to check out what happens in November because yeah, we've been super vigilant. So I hope that we get the results that we would want as pageant fans. So I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much. Goodbye.